On a Tuesday. Glad to have you guys along here on our quadruple broadcast: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch. Zach Bingham, Austin Stanley, ready to talk some Titans this morning as the full Madden ratings for the overall team ratings were released yesterday. And the Titans, did they get what they deserved? We'll discuss that. The NFL's, or I guess Madden ratings for the overall team ratings show what the NFL expects from the Titans in 2020. We'll discuss that. We'll get into why I believe the entire process of Madden ratings are absolute BS. And we'll dive into that. Zach disagrees with me for the most part. Then, which Titans player deserves a Madden rating boost the most? Not like Derrick Henry, who's a 93, who we talked about last week, is a top 5 running back. But which Titans player deserves a boost the most? And then we'll get to our inter-show topic, Zach, and that is, what's your favorite junk food? Because today is National Junk Food Day. So very excited about that conversation. I don't eat a lot of junk food. The last time I ate junk food really was when you made me via the Magic Bucket. So Zach, welcome in. Hope we're going to have a great show on this great Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I actually bought my favorite junk food yesterday at the grocery store. And I consider it a junk food. I do. And so we'll put it up to the test. It is National Junk Food Day. We've got a great show ahead. I think we're going to spit a lot of knowledge that a lot of people don't realize, right? And the reason why we're running a little bit behind, we had to gather a lot of information to put up on the screen and show you exactly, like, I'll just go ahead and give you an example. The disrespect to Dennis Kelly is real, right? Dennis Kelly, these Canadians down in Orlando that work for EA, completely oblivious to what Dennis Kelly did for the first 4 weeks of the season when Taylor Lewan was out because of using PEDs. Just oblivious. So we'll call those fools out, which is great. I love it. And we'll also probably get into an argument because I know why Austin is upset, but I don't think he realizes why he is. So
no, I think I know what your rebuttal to my opinion about Madden ratings is going to be.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
That's the best thing is I can assume, just like you can assume, but we are going to find it out. We'll play it out on the field. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going for sure.
Yeah. Before we get going, please share the broadcast, bottom right corner of your screen. If you're watching on Twitter/Periscope, those 3 little dots, tap that bad boy and retweet the broadcast. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. Also, Facebook, we welcome you guys in bottom left corner of your screen. Share now to public. Sharing is caring. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends newsfeed. More people will roll in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. So let's get this party started.
Yep, let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered by TennesseeTickets.com. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports. You like our Facebook page at A to Z Sports Nashville. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they truly do make it happen for our business and for you guys. RentersWarehouse.com, the professional landlords. To find out how much your home can rent for, head to RentersWarehouse.com. Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, 1 15-minute workout, 5 hours in the weight room. That's what it equals. So Mandu.com, your first workout absolutely free. The Tucker Agency, Nashville's independent insurance agency, giving you relief at TuckerTN.com. CalvinandSuttle.com is where to go for your new hardwood floors and finishings. Again, CalvinandSuttle.com and the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee, boneandjointtn.org. boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for orthopedic care and sports medicine. Again, boneandjointtn.org. Zach, we're talking Madden ratings. And honestly, yeah, we're a little late, as Louis says, better late than never. We had to put together a lot of graphics so you guys can truly get involved in today's discussion. But we were looking yesterday at the overall team ratings for every NFL team in Madden. They came out yesterday. You've got like the Saints, who are the number 1 highest rated team. And then who was it? The worst is like a 76. So everybody's grouped there pretty close. But I think we could all agree that the Titans did get disrespected in this.
Well, yeah. So overall, and this is we'll put the graphic up there, but overall, the Titans, if you look, and this is a lot to digest,
right?
But they are 19th. 19th overall out of all of them. And you'll see them top right corner of your screen. That's where the Titans are. And they have an 80 overall, an 81 offense, and an 80 defense. But they've got a lot of teams above them. And I'll kind of leave this up on the screen as we can run down. This is how the ratings go. The Saints are 1, the 49ers are 2, the Ravens are 3, the Bucks are 4, the Cowboys are 5, the Eagles are 6, Chiefs 7, Colts 8, Steelers 9, Browns 10, the Bears are 11, the Bills are 12, 13 Chargers, 14 Green Bay Packers, and 15 the New England Patriots. Then you have Raiders at 16, 17 Seahawks, 18 Texans, and then the Tennessee Titans. Just 2 spots below the Tennessee Titans are the Arizona Cardinals. And look, you have to understand, these are not power rankings. These are team rankings, and I'm sure there is an algorithm, and we had a ton of people send us this information the last time we talked last week about the Titans, talking about the 93 overall of Derrick Henry. But they have an algorithm to put this together. This is not power rankings based on opinion. This is a lot of information, some opinion, going into a number, going into a rating, then putting all of that team together and seeing how they play out that on the field.
Right. So, all right. So I'm going to hold on to my overall opinion about the Madden rating process in general. But what does this say about the Tennessee Titans? Because the Tennessee Titans, as we talked last week, they just surprised everybody by going to the AFC title game this past January that now feels like 3 years ago. But the Titans, a rising team, and they decided to run it back. Re-sign Tannehill, Henry. They basically returned everybody on the offense, minus Jack Conklin, but they've got Dennis Kelly and a first-round draft pick to replace. They return a ton of talent on defense, minus Jarrell Casey and Logan Ryan. So the Titans have a great young core with a coaching staff going into year 3 that I think you can feel very confident about on the field. And so everybody, I think, around NFL circles are expecting, especially I've seen some national media members and a lot of other NFL writers compare the Titans to the Jags team of a few years ago that made the AFC title game and then crashed and burned and have traded everybody away from that AFC title game appearance where they lost to the Patriots. I don't think the Titans are the Jags from 3 years ago. I think they have so much more cohesiveness than the Jags do. They have way better quarterback play, way better offensive skill players, and the defense, the Jags defense was elite that year, but it fell apart because they had poor front office leadership, and the Titans have fantastic front office leadership. So what does the Madden ratings and overall team ratings of the Titans being 19th, what does it mean about how Madden expects them to be this season? Because obviously Madden does not view the Titans as a very talented football team.
Well, they view them as a possible anomaly. And you mentioned the Jags. Why shouldn't the national media, we've talked at length about that, they don't respect the Titans because the Titans have not been consistent. Let's just face it. They've been consistently 9-7, but that's not good. 9-7 gets you in the playoffs twice, and then you miss the playoffs the other 2 times.
But I will say this. The Titans have winning records the last 4 seasons.
All 9-7.
Right. But winning records all the last 4 seasons, not a lot of teams can say that. And they had their best team last season and have everybody returning from that best team minus 3 key guys, right?
Right, but you got to do it on a consistent basis. So this is what I figured out by looking at, and I just read off the top 19 teams. It's pretty easy to see what Madden values. So I actually have the answer of why the Titans are 19th overall in Madden ratings.
I'm looking forward to it.
I will tell you. Tell you, but first you tell the fine folks about Mandu. I'm getting my Mandu on today.
Yeah, well, I'm getting my Mandu on Wednesday. Mandu is a 15-minute workout. A lot of people laugh at that the first time they hear it. I did. Then I did the workout. Then I was sore for the next 3 days. It's a 15-minute workout of full-body electronic muscle stimulation, and that simulates 5+ hours in the weight room, mandu.com is where to go. Your first workout is absolutely free. Don't worry about how out of shape you are. Don't worry about any injuries you currently have, because this will actually help enhance and heal and rehab those injuries. So mandu.com, you walk in for your first appointment, and you don't have to bring anything. It's as easy as could be. It's by appointment only, so it's very safe for these pandemic times. Mandu.com, your first workout is absolutely free.
A to Z Sports, do not forget, you can buy that hat 30% off until sports actually officially come back. AZ30. We've had a ton of people go to the shop.azsportsnational.com, and get that gear. I will tell you why, Austin. It's simple. Yes. If you look at the top 19, these Canadians, drinking all that Labatt Blue all the way down in Orlando where they create these things, they value two things: quarterback play and then defense. And the Titans, they have questionable quarterback play. Ryan Tannehill had an outstanding season, but that's just one season. It's just one season. So they're not going to put their chips and push them in on Ryan Tannehill. The Titans did, but overall, everybody else still has to see more of that. And the Titans defense, really not that well respected. Let's just be honest overall. But if you look at the top 19 ratings, you've got Drew Brees, then you got the 49ers, stellar defense. Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes. They have the Indianapolis Colts at 8th, and they have Phillip Rivers. They value quarterback play. Then after that, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They value quarterback play. Nothing for the Colts and the Steelers being 8th and 9th tells you anything besides they valued quarterback play.
But
what?
But after you get to the Steelers, where Big Ben Roethlisberger didn't really play at all last year, after that, you've got awful quarterbacks. Well, and with Baker Mayfield, Mitch Trubisky, Josh Allen, and Tyrod Taylor with the LA Chargers.
So that's where I go defense. The Browns defense is quality. The Bears defense is elite. The Bills defense is elite. And the Chargers defense has more unbelievable defensive players than you will ever see. And they got injured last year. But all four of those teams, that's why I say quarterback or defense, all four of those teams are all defense. That's why. So you chug on down the list. I'm glad you stopped me there. Then after that, they value – I don't know why everybody values Derek Carr, but they do for the Raiders on down. You've got the Green Bay Packers and the Patriots, Cam Newton, and also Aaron Rodgers. Then you've got Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. And then finally you have the Titans. That's where it all plays out. I mean, overall, quarterback and defense. The problem is the Titans, their recipe, very successful last year. Overall, if you look at the national spotlight, they do not consider, when they think of the Tennessee Titans, they think of Derrick Henry. That's a running back. They don't think of good quarterback play or elite defense. That's why they're 19.
And it just proves the fact that many of these Madden guys that you say are Canadians living in Orlando, Florida, do not watch Titans games. Because if you watch Titans games closely, you will understand the group of young, talented defensive players that the Titans have that are fast and that are athletic. And we'll get to individual Madden ratings with Titans players here in a little bit. But overall, the Titans are getting disrespected at quarterback and also disrespected on defense. But I think they're getting disrespected on offense too. I think overall, across the board, the Titans are not looked at highly when it comes to the Madden group of Raiders, because they should be the Titans should be above and really, there's a lot of complaints you can have, like the Seahawks being 17th on this list, but the Raiders, the Chargers, the Bears, and the Browns have no business being ahead of the Seahawks and the Titans. No business. And hell, even the Vikings, who were an 11-win team last year, getting very much disrespected as well. So these Madden ratings are very, very strange across the board to me. I don't understand. So
to the offensive standpoint, we'll dive deeper into what the Titans, what they have them rated individually. I told you Dennis Kelly was disrespected. I mean, it's a joke. But look, if you live in Orlando and you love maple syrup and you work for EA Sports, you're going to look at the Titans offense, and the only thing that you know to be true is that Derrick Henry is a beast. A.J. Brown's a rookie. Ryan Tannehill had one good year. Lawan was suspended. The right tackle, Jack Conklin, who was the only all-pro really in the last several years, he gone. Corey Davis, we all know, is underachieved of his number 5 overall pick. Adam Humphries was hurt. Jonnu Smith, they don't even know how to spell Jonnu. So all of these things come into play. I am not surprised that the offense is, as you said, disrespected. I think that's how a Canadian would view it.
All right, so a few comments I want to get into. Brent says the Browns haven't been in the playoffs in like 20 years. Until they make the playoffs, they shouldn't be in the top 16.
But they have a notable and they have understood commodities. I mean, they know we are used to Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr. That's the flair of Madden. Look, these Madden ratings are not like true to the team. I will admit that.
Nick says
that's the philosophy.
Yeah, Nick on YouTube, watching live on YouTube, says Madden ratings are trash and always have been. Enough said. Now here's something I want to get to. G-Man on Base says, how closely do these Madden numbers emulate fantasy football numbers?
Good question.
And I think this brings up a great point, because the Titans, outside of Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and maybe and even A.J. Brown, because of the lack of the volume, like the Titans have one bona fide fantasy football player, Derrick Henry. And that's a rarity but for the Titans in general. So do the Titans get hurt on the offensive Madden ratings because they're not known around the league with a fan base of people who put up stats? Because we talked about this in our own Tighten Up podcast, to continue the Canadian thing, talks about Titans receiving yards is like the Canadian dollar. It goes a lot further. Like 600 yards that Corey Davis gets with the Titans is like 900 or close to 1,000 yards with the majority of NFL teams out there who are throwing the ball a lot more than the Titans are. So I think G-Man on Base brings up a good point.
Yeah, and Roderick says Madden has never respected the Titans, and he's right. I mean, overall, but the Titans have not been consistent. Mariota was up and down. You know, whether that guy's on the sideline with a ball cap or actually under center. So there's no reason. Like, I'm not upset at the Madden people for doing what they did. I actually understand it. The one thing, though, and I just know this is a video game thing, and we'll talk more about that later, is I can't find it. I think it was Kyle Dupree, but Kyle says, oh, here it is, no value for running backs. And overall, that, like, Derrick Henry, and let's just call it Derrick Henry's greatness from last season and the last, half of the season the year before did not push the offense where it needs to be. I've watched Madden. If you need to see these Madden tournaments, especially over the last several months because we haven't had sports, there's a dude that actually played with the Titans that just runs the ball every time, never passes. He only runs. He does not run a single pass play. And you know what? That guy won the Madden tournament.
Yeah, so but that was
doesn't make any sense. How do you value? How can you not value running backs? Running backs in Madden can completely dominate the game.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about, but that was like the I forget how they even came up the rosters, but Gale Sayers was his running back for the Titans. So if that tells you anything, it was like the all-time.
But it's an offensive scheme.
Sure, yeah, it's a scheme that you have limited time on your quarters, so you try to just bleed the clock as much as you can and control the game, and that's what he did.
Here's a side note, and Rob is correct. I was surprised about that. Look, the Bucs are a top 4 team. Love that. Would love to play with them. Rob says, how was Gronk higher than Lamar Jackson? I don't know how Gronk was 95 overall. Like, Gronk is one of the best tight ends ever to play football. But how can you give that guy a rating of 95 after he's sat out a year? And he's come off of his body just being bruised, battered, and beaten. And all of a sudden you think he's going to just come back at a 95? Like, I don't know what Gronk – maybe these guys love to party down in Orlando. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, especially like you mentioned, the last time we saw Gronk, he could barely move. And so, like, Gronk could have a good, like, contested catch rating. And outside of that, that's about it for Gronk right now, because he He slimmed down, so he lost a lot of his strength. He's not very fast because he's beat up. His awareness is probably pretty low because he's talked about CTE concerns. So Gronk, I don't know how they got the 95.
CTE concerns, shouldn't that make your rating go down?
You would think so. Yeah, especially with Gronk probably didn't have the highest awareness to begin with. So, all right, let's do this. We just need to ask you guys, where should the Titans be rated overall in their team ratings? And we'll get to your comments. Where should the Titans rank in overall team Madden ratings? Currently, they are 19th. Before we get to your opinions on that, Zach, tell the people about Calvin and Subtle.
Yeah, absolutely. Hardwood flooring. If you need it, if your wife's been asking about it, there's one place to go. CalvinandSubtle.com or 615-448-6414. At 615-448-6414, they do hardwood floors, finishings. They can rip up your old carpet and replace it with pristine, brand new hardwood floors. That's how easy it is. 1 to 2 weeks installation. They come out, you pick out your perfect hardwood floors, from luxury to cost effectiveness. They're trusted. Tell them A to Z Sports sent you. You get even a better deal on your hardwood floors. CalvinandSubtle.com.
All right, A to Z Sports. Zach already told you once. I'll tell you again. AZ30, 30% off anything you want to get at shop.atozsportsnashville.com. Promo code AZ30 at checkout to save yourself 30%. Shop.atozsportsnashville.com is the website. So the question is, where should the Titans be rated overall in their team Madden ratings? Because currently they're 19th. So we're not going to ask you guys like, should they be an 83 on offense or whatever on defense, but just overall, where should they be ranked amongst the NFL teams? Because currently 19th, you see them in the very top right of that graphic. Titans an 80 overall on offense, 80 overall, 81 offense, 80 defense. The Saints 85 overall. Where should the Titans be ranked? Zach, what do you see in the comments saying so far?
Yeah, Bronson Knuckles, who's got a great name right there. Top 12. Jeff Burrows says above the Colts. Ryan says 85. Top 10 easily from one Vol fan, 1997. Overall, at least in 86. Brendan Perry, that would put them at number 1 overall.
Yeah,
the best team in the game. So I think that is a little high. Paul
we'll get
says
to my
8.
thoughts on that. Yeah.
Roderick says top 10. Possibly number 8. Nardo says 4 to 8. Elizabeth says 10. Nick says top 15, maybe even top 10. 13 is the lowest. 9 is the highest. So that's a good little range there. Louis says 7 coming in there. Brian says 6 or 7 or 8. DJ says 10 to 12. What do you think, Austin?
I think honestly, and here's a comment I want to read, is Andrew says, I think 19 is fair. Need to be better than 9 and 7 on a consistent basis. There's not a lot of teams that have been 9 and 7 or had winning records for 4 consecutive years. And definitely 19 teams don't do that on a year-to-year basis like the Titans do. So I think the Titans deserve to be in the top 12 as a playoff team. They should be considered a playoff team when it comes to the Madden team overall ratings. And that's where I think 11th makes a lot of sense for me. They should absolutely be above the Texans, the Raiders. I think they should be above the Patriots because the Patriots have lost a lot, not just Tom Brady. The Patriots have lost a lot of players. The Packers they should be pretty equal with the Packers, but they should be above the Texans, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Bills, the Bears, and the Browns. They should be above all those teams. So I think 11th is fair for the Titans.
Yeah, so 19th, here's my one problem with this overall rating. I'll just go ahead and tell you. It grinds my gears. It grinds my gears. There's no reason in hell that the Chicago freaking Bears should be 11. That doesn't make any sense. Mitch Trubisky blows. He doesn't just suck. He blows. He's awful. He's no good. No Chicago Bear fan believes in Mitch Trubisky. They want him gone. They were so excited to get Nick Foles, who was scrub trash in Jacksonville. Hot Duval trash last year. I know he got injured, but he was no good. I know he won a Super Bowl. on a good team, right? That Eagles team had a stellar defense and a good running game. But the Bears should not be 11. So the Raiders should not be above the Titans.
No.
Okay? That I also believe is an issue. The Browns should not be above the Titans. I would question the Colts, Steelers. Look, that's a conversation because they have two proven quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers, as we know, has been to 2 AFC championship games against who?
I mean, I don't remember.
Against who?
I'm never going to remember this, Zach. So
Give us a guess.
I don't care. Just say, continue your monologue. Continue your monologue.
Give us a guess.
The Broncos and the Steelers. Sure.
Steelers and the Patriots.
It doesn't matter. Just continue with the damn show.
Hey, if you are a listener of this show, you know why that does matter. Two proven quarterbacks. So I think the Titans, they are for Madden ratings, right? That's the question. Isn't that the question I'm answering? Is what should they be rated? They should not be 19th. They should be probably 14th. I would say 14th would be, look, they've got Tom Brady. They jumped them. The Packers are better than the Titans. But the Titans should be above the Raiders. They should be above the Bears. They should be above and also you go back, they should also be above the Browns, the Bears, and the Raiders. Those three teams
not the Bills.
Automatically go up to 16.
Not the Bills.
I think the Bills right there, I think that's a good conversation, right? Because next year, I do believe Josh Allen is going to be better, right? We've seen more Josh Allen. You don't think that?
I've seen enough Josh Allen.
You don't think he's going to get any better?
I think accuracy is the hardest thing for an NFL quarterback to improve, just flat out pure accuracy. And Josh Allen doesn't have it. Josh Allen is basically a bird shot. It just goes anywhere. It's all over the damn place. So I've seen enough Josh Allen to know that Josh Allen has an 8-foot ceiling.
And Roderick is right. Madden is pretty much saying last year was a fluke.
Exactly.
But is that okay? I'm okay with that.
With Madden and the rest of the NFL thinking that last year was a fluke?
Yeah, because we've seen it so many times. You referenced it a couple of years ago. The Jags. Blake Bortles played out of his mind that year, right? That was not the play.
He just didn't screw up that much. Like, he played fine.
No, he had a ton of touchdown passes. Are you kidding me? I'd love to see the stat line of that. That was a great season by Blake Bortles. Like, you cannot deny that. I distinctly remember that. Let's look this up live. Oh, I got it on tap. All right, Jacksonville. Let's see. That was 2017. The guy, he threw for 3,600 yards. He had
21 touchdowns, 13 picks.
21 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Statistically, it was his third best season because in 2015, Blake Bortles had 35 touchdown passes. And that was when the Jags were freaking terrible because 2017, he just played better than he had.
Playing from behind.
Right. But he was just playing more efficiently.
But that's a good stat line. Probably more picks than I did realize, but he had a ton of passing yards. Leonard Fournette was dynamite that year, if you remember, right? So I understand why Madden thinks that last year was a fluke.
Yeah, Dom, I agree. That the Blake Bortles was pedestrian that year, but that was good enough for the Jags to be able to win some playoff games.
That was a pedestrian.
Yes, Blake Bortles was pretty average that year. But again, they played the worst playoff team I've ever seen in the Bills in the wild card weekend. Then that win over the Steelers was an absolute epic back and forth like shootout. You had Antonio Brown having big touchdowns and all that, but the defense was really good for the Jags that year. So
wait. Then what is Marcus Mariota? Is he pedestrian?
Yeah.
All of his seasons, even the 26 touchdowns. There's only 5 different than Blake Bortles that year. In 2015, was that pedestrian?
2016 is when Mariota threw 26 touchdowns. That was his second year in the league, so that was a really
was that pedestrian?
No, for a second-year player, 26 touchdown passes on the Titans, who also had the AFC's leading rusher, was not pedestrian. But Blake Bortles, when he was deep into his career, 21 touchdown passes, 13 picks, is pedestrian.
I think for that team, that was not pedestrian.
Okay, so you think 14th is where the Titans should be. I say 11th.
I need to know more about A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, and Ryan Tannehill. We can do a show on this, but those are the three guys I have to know more about. I believe in A.J. Brown. I think Ryan Tannehill can do it again. I'm curious about Jonnu Smith. But those three guys, wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback, pretty three important positions that are really question marks. I could poll every single person watching this show. We got pretty good numbers right now. I could poll every single person, and they could not tell me without a shadow of a doubt what A.J. Brown truly is going to be, what Ryan Tannehill is, and what Jonnu Smith is. You can't, and you shouldn't be able to. That's why these Canadians down in Orlando, they can't either.
Okay, so we're going to ask you guys about a Titans player that deserves the biggest boost on Madden, but I have something I need to get off my chest about the Madden rating process, and I'm going to do that here in a second. But first, let me tell you about the Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. You see that beautiful building right there in the bottom right of your screen? That baby's just like 1 year old, because the Bone and Joint Institute, brand new. They are the region's destination for orthopedic care and sports medicine. Their website, boneandjointtn.org, is where you should go. Your entire process, whatever your injury might be, whatever your ailment might be, you get it done under that one beautiful roof. Whether it's the consultation to find out what's wrong, the procedure, the actual surgery happens there, all the imaging happens there, and the rehab happens there after the fact as well. They are the region's destination for orthopedic and sports medicine care. So check them out, please. Don't fumble on your recovery. Head to boneandjointtn.org.
A to Z Sports, do not forget, we are running a pretty awesome sale overall. Look, 30% off, AZ30, all orders, get you some A to Z Sports swag. I want to address this before you get to your point, because I don't want to forget it. And I love it because Tom watches the show all the time. I know Tom. Don't know him personally, but we all know Tom. Tom says Zach needs more love from A.J. Brown, question mark, question mark. Where's the Ole Miss homer we all know and love? It's a great comment, Tom.
Yeah, I agree.
I met a guy from state yesterday, and I was just like destroying this guy, just ripping him a new one. I was like,
cool.
Like the Ole Miss homer. Correct. Yeah. A.J. Brown, I need to find out if he should be in the conversation of elite wide receivers, right?
Right.
Hey, everything as a rookie showed us this guy could absolutely be a top 5 wide receiver and a 95, 96, 97, 98, 99 type guy one day. But 1 year, I did think that Madden didn't get his rating right, but that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, he's an 81, and we'll talk about specific Titans players here in a second. But I think the Madden rating process is complete BS. It needs to be called out, because I think when we show you guys the overall team ratings, and it takes you to get to the second effing column to find the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs with the best quarterback of this generation and for the next decade in Patrick Mahomes, and they are the 7th highest rated team with that track team offense, and the defense for the Chiefs is very underrated. But the fact that the Minnesota Vikings, the Seattle Seahawks are on the 3rd and 4th column, and the LA Rams, they have some issues, but they're near the bottom. But the overall process is awful, and it's so jacked up. And what it makes me believe is that Madden is in the clickbait game, that Madden wants to have questionable ratings to get more attention in the months of July and August, and their ratings are not true to what they actually believe, that they put the Chiefs as the 7th best team on purpose to get a rise out of the Super Bowl champion fan base. And when you look at the overall player ratings as well, there's not a 15-point or Mitchell Schwartz and we've talked a lot about Geoff, his brother, last week. Mitchell Schwartz is a 96 overall as a right tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. There is not a 12-point difference in the level of play between Mitchell Schwartz and Taylor Lewan, who is an 84. That's just egregious. There is not that big of a difference. That Madden, they are awful when it comes that they clickbait the hell out of this thing to get all the fans around the NFL riled up about their teams and their players being rated low.
Right. We told not to assume at the beginning of the show. I was curious to see what you were going to say there. I disagree with this because here's my philosophy. You said your philosophy on this. Look, I think we both agree that they're not correct. The Taylor Lewan Mitchell Schwartz example is a great example.
Awful. 12,
right.
96 to 84. That's so stupid. That's so dumb.
But for the overall ratings, Austin, what is Madden?
A video game.
A video game. That's very, very key. What does Madden want on the internet? They want more people to play their video game with different teams. That's the reason why, if you go look at, like, we can put it up there again. It's pretty obvious. The best team in the entire video game is 85 overall. That is the New Orleans Saints. The worst team in the video game is the Miami Dolphins. That's 76 overall. 76. That's only a discrepancy. That's quick math of 9 points. Right. They want more people online, because that's where they make their money, to play with every team. That's the philosophy. So that's why they do what they do. It is flawed, right? And whether you say that's clickbait, it may be in a different form, but it's a video game. And you don't want, and they've learned their lesson, you don't want Michael Vick of 2004.
Oh, and I'm not saying that.
And Patrick Mahomes could easily be that if the Kansas City Chiefs are like a 95 overall team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that. But
so they do this for that reason, not for the other reason that you said. The Lewan Schwartz thing makes zero sense. Dennis Kelly, who we're about to reveal of what his rating is laughable. So they do this for other people to play with more teams.
So another point that I was going to get to is the best team in the entire NFL is an 85 overall. That's the Saints, right? The best, that's it, 85. That's how Madden, like, and I want to ask you this because you play video games. I have not for a while.
I win Super Bowls in my video game.
Yeah, you do. I don't win Super Bowls because I don't play video games. But has Madden ratings changed, and have they gotten more strict, and have they pulled back, and are less players rated highly today than they were, let's say, 10 years ago? Because I remember back when I was in middle school, high school, and getting the new Maddens every year, and the teams were rated like 94, 93, and then like the bad teams were like 85, 84, not in the 70s, and the best team being in the mid 80s. I find it like that they've gotten so strict for whatever reason that if you're an NFL player rated in the 80s, that is a high rating in today's Madden, it feels like. Where back in the day, in my middle school days of Madden, when I was playing 4 hours a day after school, that it was like if you had to get to that high 80s, and in the 90s, that's when you were considered good.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. Yes, the ratings have absolutely changed. And one of the reasons why is social media and marketing. They're very good at it, right? And that's why I love Madden, because they can market. I love good marketing. Love it. Really just gets my blood flowing. I'll give you an example, and I'm glad you brought that up. So there was a shift at one point a few years ago when they put 99 on a pedestal, right? Right. A very selective list.
Which I like. I agree with that.
Right? So they have high expectations for those. I think only five players this year were 99 overall.
Correct.
And for Titans fans, I just went back while you were talking, while you were asking, and I looked up the 2009 Madden ratings. This was after the Titans anomaly season, right? And it was an anomaly. Kerry Collins, Algie Crumpler, Chris Johnson, and the boys, they lost to the Ravens, but they were 13-3 and the best team in the AFC. So that was 2008. The following season is Madden 2009. I will reveal these Madden ratings. But first, Austin, I want you to tell people about Renter's Warehouse.
Yes, renterswarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. Renterswarehouse.com. Check it out because there's so many different ways that you can use Renters Warehouse. It could be for a bunch of different things. It could be because you were moving and you think selling your house is really the only option you have. You can actually hold on to that house, build equity in that house, get that mailbox money from other people paying your mortgage, and then some. The best way to long-term wealth is by owning rental property, and Renters Warehouse can make that so easy for you. Also, if you own Airbnbs and you're not relying on that travel and tourism like you normally would, you can temporarily rent out that property for 4 or 5 months until things get back to normal. Then you can flip it back to being an Airbnb because Renters Warehouse has no binding contracts. It's one low $89 a month fee. That's all it is. Renterswarehouse.com is where to go.
A to Z Sports. There are 11 teams in Madden 09 that are above a 90.
That was my thought. And actually, that Madden 09 was going into the 28 to 2008 season.
That's Brett Favre cover year. So he was with the Packers. Then they put him on the Jets, right? That was I actually bought this game. I have this game upstairs somewhere. I haven't played it, obviously. But 97 overall, the best team in the game is the New England Patriots. No shocker. The Colts with Peyton Manning, they're 95 overall. The Jags, 93 overall, which I thought was pretty remarkable. And then the Titans, after that season, they put them at an 84.
Well, that was actually before the 13-3 season because Madden 21 is out now before the 2020 year.
Well, this says that this is based off of – okay, so the release date is August 12th, 2008.
Right, before the 13-3 season.
So we need to go to Madden 10, right?
Which is when Madden, yes. So that was based off of –
So the Titans went from 84 after that season. They went up to 87. So that was their jump.
Which I think that's fair because that team was good on defense and very average on offense. They just had a really good running game and Kerry Collins.
So this may have been the turn of the century. Austin, we may have just found it.
Yeah.
They went from 11 90-plus overall teams to 2.
In 2010?
This was the Madden turn. We just figured it out.
For the decade.
Live on A to Z Sports. That was the change. You can't go from 1190 overall. Damn, the Jags went from 93 to 71 in 1 year.
That's a big. So they definitely have changed, and I think
the only two teams, Patriots and Steelers, were the only two teams over 90, compared to 11 teams the year before. So this was the cover. The cover athlete was Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald. I also had this game. This was right around. I was right in college. I was out of college, and I was towards the end. Right, I was doing a lot of things and playing a lot of video games.
Interesting. I think we've cracked the case. We've cracked the Madden case. 2010 is when they changed. So 10 years ago, Madden got super strict. All right, let's get to these specific Titans players because, man, the Titans players, they have some hysterically funny low-rated players. So we're going to ask you guys which Titans player deserves a Madden rating boost the most. Which Titans player deserves a Madden rating boost the most? But first, Zach, tell people about Tucker Agency.
Yeah, Tucker Agency, that's where you need to go get your insurance. It's very simple. TuckerTN.com is where you need to go. Will Tucker will help you tremendously. You email him, will@TuckerTN.com. Give him an email. Say, I heard about you on A to Z Sports. How do I save money? Well, it's easy. Go to Tucker Agency. It's average customer when they go 20%. 20%. That's TuckerTN.com.
All right, A to Z Sports here live on a Tuesday, asking you guys which Titans player deserves a Madden rating boost the most. So I'm going to pull up. I've got 2 slides of Titans player ratings, right? The first one has the majority of players that we know, and that is the highly ranked guys like Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard, Brett Kern, Roger Saffold, Lawan, Adoree Jackson, like Landry, A.J. Brown. So you've got some guys that are up there. Then you look to the far right. That's where you got Isaiah Wilson at 65 overall. Cam Batson, Michael Pruitt, kicker Greg Joseph is at 67. Khalif Raymond is a 68. Then we go to the bottom of the barrel, Titans player ratings, and I see backup quarterback Logan Woodside as a 47 and Bo Brinkley, the long snapper, a 35. I find it hilarious that Logan Woodside and Bo Brinkley are 47 and 35. Bo Brinkley does not deserve that. That is.
But he only plays one position.
Right. I understand that.
He does deserve that. That's how all long snappers in Madden ratings have always been.
A 35.
They're usually 47 is what again, I know this based on playing Madden for most of my life. The long snapper usually is a 47. That for years was the lowest end of the barrel. So they've pushed that back down to a 35. Logan Woodside shouldn't be any higher. The guy doesn't play. He's a third string quarterback.
But then you have Cole McDonald is a 60. So
because he just got drafted. They know more about Cole McDonald. You can actually look up tape. Like Logan Woodside for the last couple of years, like they don't have any tape. Zero tape.
The fact that Bo Brinkley, I feel like if you're rated a 35, what would like you and me be rated? Like that's just disrespected him from a professional athlete. Like the 35 is like they can barely even walk.
He does one thing.
But he's also
he does one thing.
Right. And
he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, but it shows like Taylor Lewan is faster than Bo Brinkley on Madden, which is probably not true in real life. Bo Brinkley covers kicks and punts and actually has athletic ability.
We should ask Lewan if he thinks he's faster.
I think it would be great to ask Bo Brinkley because Bo Brinkley has a personality. I think it'd be funny to ask him about what he thinks about being a 35. I mean, a 35 is just ridiculously low. So which Titans player deserves the biggest boost overall in their Madden ratings? Zach, how do you feel about this question?
Well, I've already said my guy. It's easy. It's Dennis Kelly. They have him as a 64.
Yeah, he's on the second page. He's on the second page. Dennis Kelly's is 64, right there with Ty Sambrayo as his 64 as well for the backup tackle.
Dennis Kelly started in the league and has for he's a seasoned veteran, right? Like
yes,
one of the best trades I would say in the last 10 years for the Titans.
Like pure value.
Dennis Kelly DTB.
Yes.
I mean, sure. I want to see the whites of your eyes, Austin. Do you agree with that? In the last 10 years, one of, if not the best trade, DeMarco Murray trade was very good, but for that one season. But Dennis Kelly, he signed another contract after the trade for a second round pick.
Yeah.
And he's a 64.
And Dorial Green Beckham was arrested as he jumped out of a house window with a backpack full of marijuana.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like that. The
best player in the country, and then botching Missouri, botching Oklahoma, botching the Titans, and botching the Eagles. Yeah. His entire career has been a botch job. Ugh, that's hard to swallow.
So you say Dennis Kelly deserves a bigger bump there.
I mean, nobody can deny that. Like, anybody watching that, that's the most disrespected ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think
Tannehill and Josh Carroll brings it. Tannehill's the best trade in the last 10 years.
That's
then
true.
DeMarco Murray. But Dennis Kelly's top 5.
Yeah, look. Oh, for sure. I think Dennis Kelly, when you talk about John Robinson trades, Dennis Kelly is great. The DeMarco Murray trade was an overall like change in team mindset and mentality that lasted longer than DeMarco Murray's tenure did with the Titans. But I think Dennis Kelly very valuable for sure. When I look at this, so okay, real quick, what do you think Dennis Kelly should be rated?
Dennis Kelly should be at least in the 70s. He should be about a 74.
So you think he should boost by 10 points?
Yeah, that's how off they were. I mean, like
64 to 74.
Yes. Right there with Kamale Correa, Vic Beasley, Jack Crawford, and Kari Blasingame.
It's funny the fullback is a 72, but Dennis Kelly's a 64.
And different scale, I get it. But these Canadian Orlandoans, or I don't even, what is an Orlandoan?
He beats me.
they don't make any sense because they don't know. They lack knowledge. And look, they're probably very smart. I want to discredit the engineering of the video game, but they need somebody that actually knows all of the teams. You know what they need to do? Idea alert, idea alert. Hey, Madden, listen up. You need to take one person from each team that at least covers the team or has knowledge to the team that is somewhat unbiased, a third party. Hell, call A to Z Sports. I'll help your ass out. And fly my ass to Orlando when the coronavirus dies down. Actually, I don't give a rip. I'll go tomorrow. I don't care. But if you fly me to Orlando and you want me to be a consultant to actually tell you that Dennis Kelly is not a 64 and just kind of spit some knowledge on the full roster of the team, I would love to help. Really, that's it. Just to help.
So you say the guy who deserves the bump the most is Dennis Kelly. I'm looking at a guy that I think is being very disrespected and has been for the last couple of years, but has really played at a very high level. And he's coming off of an injury that I think is probably why his rating is very low. But to me, Malcolm Butler's broken wrist as a broken bone that just heals with natural time is not an injury that should derail his overall Madden rating. Because Malcolm Butler at a 77, when Jonathan Joseph, who is 47 years old, is an 81, that doesn't make sense to me. I think Malcolm Butler deserves to be right there. I think they've got Adoree Jackson pretty right at 83. I think Malcolm Butler needs to be right neck and neck with Adoree Jackson because I find them, if both Titans QB cornerbacks were sitting there at 83, I would find that pretty fair. I think Lewan got screwed at 84, and maybe Butler's wrist.
Well,
and
it's PEDs, right? Reliability. He had Taylor Lewan, I know it's on the field and off the field versus all that stuff, but Lewan had to have gone down because of the mistake he made. It's punished.
But he came back from that and played well.
Well, no. It took him some time.
After 2 games, he started playing well.
But still, he admitted it, right? He had the rant in the locker room saying, "I know, guys, I messed up. I know I'm costing this team." So that's incorrect. He did not come back and play well. That's wrong. He came back and did not. He eventually played well. He eventually got back to the Pro Bowl type player we know that he is.
Right. So that's how he ended the season. So that's
the overall, right? Just because Malcolm Butler broke his wrist doesn't mean all that stuff. I get it. But overall, Lewan needed to go down. What was he last year?
I want to say he was an 81 or something last year. I think he went up from last year. After his 3rd straight Pro Bowl. It's a weird thing. It's a very strange thing. I think Malcolm Butler is a guy who's most deserving of a boost. Yeah, and thank you. Sherlock brings up Gronk came back in a 95. What the hell? That's what makes no sense for me.
Lewan was an 81 last year.
Right. So he's an 81 last year. He's an 84 this year. So he got bumped up during the PEDs. I think he should be probably a high 80s, if not touching 90.
Yeah, but Gronk, I know Gronk came, and we talked about that. Gronk is an all-time tight end. Lewan is not an all-time tackle, possibly
Gronk,
yet.
After 1 year, is not an all-time tight end. What was Gronk's rating the last year that he actually played? Because that was probably also inflated.
I don't know. What would that be? Madden 19?
Yes. I love how Zach's just quick on the trigger to find old Madden ratings.
Well, yeah, because this interests me,
This
and
is what you do.
Yeah, this is literally what I do. So
Madden
19, Tom Brady overall a 96, and let's see here, scouting report. This is poorly done. I'm actually on EA.com, and it's worse than the others.
Yeah, the guys who just go find it, put it together.
Yeah. So let's see here. Top players. Ooh. So in 99, what do you think Gronkowski was?
In Madden 19?
Yeah.
I'm guessing he was like a 97.
99.
Yeah. Which is not what he was.
But Austin,
He could barely run.
If I asked you who is the greatest tight end of all time, does Gronk run through your mind?
Oh yeah, he's a part. Yeah, for the whole resume, yes. But in 2020 and in 2018, during that time, Gronk was not that physically able.
I know Gronk should have been a 91 or a 92, not a 95.
Yes, 91 would be high after. No other player is going to get like. I also agree. Dom bringing up why is JJ Watt a 98? That's another great question because that guy hasn't been healthy in like 4 seasons. So why is he a 98? Why? Why do I think JJ Watt's a 98? Because he's so loud and obnoxious that he would bitch and moan if he wasn't rated that high.
Do you dislike JJ Watt?
Absolutely. He's annoying as hell.
I don't at all. He does nothing to make me hate him. Maybe you're 1% coming out right now. It's okay.
JJ Watt is Rob Riggle. JJ Watt is Rob Riggle. They're the same person. Rob Riggle was great for like 3 or 4 years, and then you realize, oh, it's the same thing over and over. That's JJ Watt.
Except you're talking about player personality.
Both. But Rob Riggle is no longer funny. JJ Watt, I find he's tired because he's injured and hurt all the time, but he gets a lot of respect.
He came back for the playoff game last year.
Yes, he did. And he made a couple of plays, yes.
And he has been injured, right? You cannot deny that.
But he's a 98.
He's also a game wrecker. He shouldn't be a 98. I agree with you there. But I don't mind JJ Watt. I don't hate him.
Brian asked, what is Clowney's rating? I just searched. Clowney does not have a current rating in this game that would pop up. So can't answer that one right now. I searched Clowney and couldn't find it. All right, let's get to our end of the show topic, Zach. National Junk Food Day. You said you just recently bought your favorite junk food at the grocery store.
Yeah, I actually I can show it to you. This is live on. I will show it to you because it's probably, I would say, 15 feet away from me right now. And you know what? People are going to go out and buy this because I would put this as far as products that you buy at the grocery store as junk food. I mean, I personally think it's the best.
All right, but just go get it.
Not a lot of people know about it.
Just go get it. Just unplug your headphones so you don't hurt yourself, and go grab your piece of junk food that is 15 feet away. And I'll entertain the people. What do you think?
You have yours?
I have my answer. Yeah.
Okay.
My answer of what my favorite junk food is. So it's National Junk Food Day. Zach's going to go grab his favorite junk food. Then he'll be back. So what is your favorite junk food with National Junk Food Day? Louis Chesney believes Zach's is going to go grab some Hot Pockets. G-Man thinks it's White Castle. Jesse thinks Zach's going to go grab a Tostitos pizza. And Captain Kronk says it better be Oreos. So Zach is already back with his favorite junk food. And then we'll get to more of your comments. What is your favorite junk food, Zach?
Well, yeah, I'm going to have to make this quick because I'm going to have to put it back in the freezer.
Oh,
this, my friend, is the best ice cream you can buy in the grocery store. And you know what? It goes with what really
don't show us the nutritional facts. You got to spin that label.
Hey, you don't tell. Look, shut your mouth. How about that? Like, what do you think I was going to show you nutritional facts?
That's what you started to do.
And then I pulled back.
Okay.
Because look, there. You want to know what this is, don't you?
Just show us already. I don't know why you're drawing this out.
Cookie two-step Bluebell ice cream. Let me spit something at you. Vanilla flavored ice cream, chocolate cream-filled cookies, aka Oreos. They just can't say it because of the trademark. And chocolate chip cookie dough. This is cookies and cream and chocolate chip cookie dough combined into one.
Yeah,
welcome to Cookie Two-Step. It is the best ice cream that you can buy on the market. Go there, buy it. This is my favorite junk food. It is delicious. And look, I bought the little pint, so I didn't have to, I could have gotten the gallon, but I decided not to do that. I got to do Mandu today, right? That's counteractive. I don't want to do that. So Cookie Two-Step, my favorite junk food. Here are the nutritional facts for you, Austin. 250 calories, 740 per container.
That's the problem with pints of ice cream is they shouldn't even bother splitting up servings. A pint of ice cream is one serving. I don't know about you, But to me, a pint of ice cream is one serving.
Well, so this is what I do. And full disclosure, I have a sweet tooth. After I eat, I like to have a little bit of sweet. That's why I've got chocolate-covered espresso beans in my coffee every single day. After I eat, I can just take 1 to 2 bites of this bad boy, put it back in the freezer, and I have my cookie two-step fix.
No, I cannot. I have a problem. I'm very disciplined with my dieting and my exercise, but I also know my weaknesses. So I don't even buy what I would know I would demolish at the grocery store. If it's in my house, I'm going to eat it all at one time. So that's why I don't even buy. My favorite junk food is just a big load of hot French fries. I could get down on just endless, just a big load of French fries. It's just a huge pile of French fries and just go to town on them. That's my favorite junk food.
I love French fries, but loaded fries, like queso, and like you just go all full fledged on fries. Regular fries with just ketchup, What type you like? Curly? You like strings or shoestring? You
curly,
like?
I don't. The only fry I usually don't like is the steak fry, like the thick potato wedge. There's too much potato to how thick it is. I prefer shoestrings great, curly at times. The crinkle fries are great. If you just get some super extra crispy crinkle cut fries, those are going to be good regardless, and you can dip it in a bunch of different things. But French fries are probably my favorite.
Let's see. Ricky goes M&M Auburn County Bar. 24 Sherlock 24 says Twizzlers. I can't eat Twizzlers because when I was a kid, my younger cousin, who was 7 at the time, got sick and projectile vomited Twizzlers all over the car. And I will never eat Twizzlers again after that. I was in the ranch and they told that story, and I was like, I'm out on Twizzlers. But I see how people like it. Doritos, I love Doritos too. Crystals is good junk food. Mexicali chips and dip from Publix. Garlic aioli fries. See, if I were to go loaded fries, I would go bacon, sour cream, and queso, like with waffle, because it really soaks them up. Chili gets salty for me. I had chili cheese fries actually recently, but tamales. Somebody said tamales.
Does tamale count as a junk food?
No, it's Tillamook birthday cake ice cream. Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Me either.
Fast breaks, Totina's party pizzas are good.
Yeah, pizza's always great. Like I could have a pizza every day if I wanted to. Like and I'm the type of person that eats the same thing every day for the most part. So I could eat pizza every day and be a happy person and never get tired of it.
I do love tamales, but that's not junk food. It's just a
dish.
You're doing good.
If you're making tamales and hell yeah.
Yeah. If somebody says, "What'd you have for dinner last night?" and you say tamales, everybody's they're going to ask a follow-up question. Where'd you get them? How'd you make them? Right? They're delicious.
Yeah.
You can get bad tamales though, which are really Texas good tamales. That's where you need to go.
Dustin says pizza or payday. See, I also have a sweet. Huh?
Are you a beef jerky guy? Well, no, not a beef jerky guy. I'm not a beef jerky guy. I
never really was.
Yeah, I never was either. Stuffed jalapenos.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We've had some good comments.
Yes, for sure. Homemade vanilla ice cream from Greg. All right, guys. Look, that's a heck of a show. A lot of Madden stuff in that show, but now we can move on from the Madden ratings. We've got some more great shows planned for the rest of the week. Don't forget Podcast Network, A to Z Sports Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast. Big Orange Podcast episode yesterday. Buck's got some big guests coming up this week. Tighten Up Podcast as well. The Preds Nashcast is coming back soon as well because the Preds are coming back, which is exciting. And Buck's got 615 sessions and prime time coming later. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Adios.